Hey everybody, welcome. Today we're going to talk about how to finish a painting. And I'm here with my friend Scott, and we're going to have a conversation on what that means for us. And also when we look at other people's work, maybe how they thought about finishing a painting. Scott, welcome to the studio.
Thanks, Christine. Be a fun topic. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Tell me why you wanted to talk about how to finish a painting today. Is this something you struggle with? You see students struggling with? What are your thoughts?
Well, I think I hear people talking about what's my style. I'm still trying to find my style. And and some of the students I have, I think they're trying to find it possibly a little soon. But truthfully, how you finish things, how that look is, what do you want it to look like? I think we're going to talk about today, which will be fascinating because I don't know that anybody thinks about that. What do they want? Not like you want to look like somebody, but how do you want it to look for you that you want it
Yeah,
to?
I think it's a little taboo. Like if I'm looking over your shoulder, if I said, "Oh, is that done?" You'd be like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
actually,
It's,
you usually say, "No, it's a work in progress." You like to work on a painting for longer.
yeah, that's actually a really good point that you just said because I've realized somebody brought it up to me. He goes, "How do you feel about it right now?" I said, "I don't like it yet." Then it made them depressed and all upset. Like, well, it looks fine. I'm like, no. The truth is I don't let myself like it too early. Because if I like the painting too early or certain parts of the painting too early, I start cherishing that. And it's the very area that needs change sometimes, as per the whole of the painting. And I
Yeah, I
don't allow myself to get too loving about every part too fast.
too precious.
Yeah, too precious. Exactly. And I don't happen to usually do the classical approach every time. I prefer the middle values because the tonality is really interesting to me in that. So that keeping the key up so that when you have no light on the painting and indoors, it still has life in it. It's not completely dark.
Yeah, your paintings definitely do that. I remember how you had them scattered around the studio. I've tried that myself, off to the side and kind of look at it askance to see if it's really
Yeah.
reading
Yeah.
that way. I mean, I guess we're talking about reworking a painting. You're saying you enjoy the process. This is still an ongoing journey for me. I don't know that I fully enjoy the process because for me, I feel there's a point of diminishing returns. The
Oh,
freshness is
yeah.
lost. It gets leathery. After past number 10, I'm like, what am I even doing here?
But having spoken about that before, you've realized that some of the best work you've done, you've put a little more time into, and all of a sudden it comes out to be a better painting. It's not like there's a best way there. It's just more, I think when you're going to repaint, to me, if I'm going to repaint, it's going to be based on what am I going to do it for? It's not just to rework for fun. It's more like, well, I need to harmonize this with that. I need to link some things together value wise and change the color, those type of things. But we can talk about that.
Oh, so you go at it with intent.
Absolutely. I don't go at it like, oh, I think I want to repaint this. I go at it with, okay, look, there are 10 things I want to redo. I might just take 10 minutes and reestablish a key on the light side and then set it aside again. I might reestablish a shadow throughout the painting, just like a pattern, and then call it good for then. And I'll start reworking it as I start seeing these patterns coming together the way I like them to be.
How would you describe that new pass?
Let's say my shadow patterns are a little darker than I want. I'll just take the whole entire painting of shadow patterns, or let's say the trees in them, and reestablish the key by lightening them slightly all the way through, and then just let it go for a while, and come back and I'll maybe reestablish the saturation level on the ground plane and repaint that thing. It won't take long. I'll just be very succinct about where the color and the value is, and then I'll put it in and I'll merge it and then let it go. So I don't have like a repaint, like I have to repaint the whole thing every time. Sometimes it's just repainting patterns throughout and then watching how the edges merge.
I remember you saying that the sky ends up being something that you will repaint.
Yeah. It depends on if the sky is just a supporting element or if it's a big part of the what I want you to see. That kind of thing. It's just a series of questions, basically, how do you orchestrate? Subordinating is even harder than actually enhancing.
So I remember seeing you start a demo, and I thought the first wash was so beautiful. And you would say, "Oh, it's just the start." And I was like sad for you. I was like, I know, but this is so great. Like, don't you see the potential in your own work?
Yeah, yeah.
So
Well,
how, is
it's interesting.
is that like a newer thought for you, or is that just where you're at and that feels true to how you like to work?
It's just I want more out of the paintings, and that's all. It's not like I don't feel sad doing it. It feels like a discovery to me. It feels like I'm walking looking for arrowheads, or like you don't know where you are. It's still a discovery to me, And if I lose that part of painting, it's not interesting.
So the euphoria of beginning a painting, we've all experienced that.
Yeah.
What happens when that translates into, oh boy, now I've got to roll up my sleeves and get to work because this doesn't match with that? Like, let's plot the trajectory. Euphoria, I'm starting the painting, everything is
Yeah.
great. Oh boy, now stuff is
Yeah.
happening.
Yeah.
I don't know if this one could be resolved. And then hopefully we have a finish line. So that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah, I think so. It's just refinement. What does refinement mean to you? It's not right or wrong. It's like it's where you want to take it. So to me, I really enjoy the first initial, search for ideas and doing quick studies and it can be beautiful in its own right. But I like to take it further just because I learn so much more in there. Then when I come out back outside and I'm doing it in a fresh way again, I have a little bit more for tools to work with. Taking that balance between indoor and outdoor and working them together is where I think the growth happens. And I'm more interested in getting better as a painter than just letting go of paintings because I think they're nice. I want to make them better. It's something that just when I see a good painting, I just keep wanting to come back,
Mhm.
and I just cannot stop going back to good paintings. And I'd like to have that if I can.
Do you find that some of them get overworked?
Yep.
Okay.
But I think the majority get underworked because I'm so.
Oh,
It
interesting.
just it's easy to underwork it. That's easy, and it's also overworking is not what people think it is. You don't just go in there mindlessly doing something and making that rock look better. You have to think of it as a pattern, I think, and how it fits in the whole.
So you think
It's
in
not just
general people could do more work on their paintings?
well to learn, and sometimes it's going to make the painting better, but it depends on where you want to go with it. I'm a total advocate of really fresh looking, one time shot looking paintings. I love those, but I think there's more to it than just that. It's just a way for me.
Yeah, it's taken me a while to appreciate that. And it
Yeah.
has helped me in talking with you. I think also when we looked at Sargent's work, when we've seen
Uh-huh.
exhibits of his work, so we look at his watercolor and fully appreciate that freshness. The stroke is
Yeah.
down, you can't change it. And
Yeah.
I mistakenly was thinking that that translates into his oil. And you were saying, no, look, this is because watercolor was something I was familiar with. And when we
Right.
first toured the exhibit, I was learning oil. And
Yeah.
then you were like, look, he's got three passages here. And so he's treating each one as a fresh application of paint. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's cool.
Well, and he scraped a lot of paintings off. What I've heard is that he scraped a lot of paintings off, and he started with that brown surface and get that one middle value in there and start working again. And I don't
Yeah.
think I think he evolved just like everybody. He's trying new things.
Sargent has that dancing brushwork that gets me super excited to paint.
It's really in context to what we were talking about as far as how to taking a painting toward finish, but how everybody does it different and how even him, starting with probably more transparent watercolor, learned to try some new things. And so he started building some impasto with a little bit of gouache in it
Mhm.
and giving a little body to it on occasion. And so just like me, now that I've been using gouache for a while, I'm trying to go more transparent. I think that combination of trying new things is what keeps these guys so lively in our minds,
Yeah. Yeah.
George Inness is just totally different edgeways, not as cut out. It's really soft edged. I mean, just a way of thinking for him.
Yeah.
It's the way he
What
did it.
nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is beautiful with the softness. It's pretty daring too to divide your canvas into solid right side and then open
Yeah.
left
Yeah.
side and it's right in the middle. So I think it creates a type of tension.
Yeah. Definitely. Look how soft this edge is too. I'm always surprised at just how soft those edges are. Some of them must be 2 inches wide and, into the sky there. Look at this one. Look how violet it is right up in the edge as it goes from green toward rays.
I would be so tempted to make those trees like the mass of the trees is equal, like those two right trees.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would be so tempted to take that off of the picture
Yeah.
frame. And he's got a
Yeah.
lot of texture in the sky too.
Yeah, it does. Especially over on the right side over here. Well, you can see it everywhere, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
But I guess, I'll a couple more just to show you varieties. Here's
Yeah.
look at Hermann Herzog. Look at the way he handled his edges, the way these leaves met the sky, really soft edged. And most of the real saturation and color is right in the core here.
Oh,
It's just a
yeah.
management thing. It's the way he managed it. It's not dark. He's not really heavy darks. It's just different handling. I mean, he could have, and you and I both know that if it's this rich in the middle, that this bottom left corner is very rich in color usually too. He just subordinated that slightly so you're to enhance this area. So he's been a lot of time orchestrating this thing.
Yeah, imagine if phthalo green was involved in that shadow
Yeah.
color. It'd be a disaster.
Yeah. But just the differences. There's Sorolla.
Oh, yeah,
That,
that's a great one.
kind of crisp and soft in their own right, depending on how he managed it. But a lot of color shifting all over in here. Just
Uh,
unbelievable.
I love this painting. I
Yeah,
so love this painting. I visited Spain to go to his house and garden, and also the gardens that he painted in because I loved how he had abstracted the garden. I thought that was
yeah,
so exciting to do something like that where the shrubs are like all muscular and in light and shadow, and he's
yeah,
capturing all of that is just like really blew my mind when I saw that.
yeah. So many different ways of handling, and he was just, I mean, he stayed within those masses and just color shifts all over. Just
Yeah.
blew my mind. Sargent was really notorious for that too.
Yeah, he was.
Then you have Emil Carlson, the way he layers is just crazy. The interesting surface that it is that some people won't care to see. They don't care. To me, it is. And so that's the stuff I like. Remember when we stood in front of the Monets and how many layers
Yeah.
and layers and
It
layers and
was,
layers?
and you were into your stack paint phase, so you were like
Yeah, yeah,
you were
yeah,
drooling, I think.
yeah. Well, it shows you different ways, right? That's all.
Yeah.
I'll get you started. I'll ask you some questions and see what you think. Show you the variety of ways to finish. Like here's George Carlson, right? What do you think of that?
Wow, that's fantastic. First of all, the square format, and then I love how he's pushed the horizon line all the way up too.
Look how sharply defined his shadows are as far as shapes go, too.
Yeah. That's really hard too when the light is basically directly behind you
Yeah,
to carve out that scatter pattern of shadows and not knit them together because usually you want to try to collect your shadows. Plus, then he's doing those bands of rock. That's
yeah.
amazing.
I think we're talking about the variety of ways to handle things. Beautiful. Yeah,
Isn't that great? I really see deeper into this painting. And because it's one I've seen over the years, it's terrific to see the painting again with new eyes. I see the structure, I see the grouped value, those light rocks and the dark rocks. It's just great. Plus, how the figure dissolves. He had all of the emotion, he had all of the enthusiasm, but then
yeah,
he's refining it and he's probably telling the figure, move forward, move backwards. It's a square painting, so he has this area stacked. We have this diagonal line counter diagonals here. So we're creating it kind of reminds me of that Carlson painting that you showed, where we have somewhat flattening of the picture plane, but yet there's so many diagonals within the rocks. And we even have texture, a fair space into the distance. So
yeah.
anyway, yeah, it's just
I'm really glad you pulled this one out. It's like it's a beauty, man. What I've realized in this one is in the hierarchy of things. I didn't see the figure right away. I mean, you can see it because of the hat band for
yeah,
sure,
yeah,
but that just the composition alone, it's like you see that first. You like toward the water where the water meets the rocks, that sort of thing, and then you pick her up and. He could have enhanced her more, and her placement would be not so great if he did. But
yeah.
where he put her is kind of a little centered, but it doesn't bother you because the way he merges it with the rock.
That's right.
That style of frame, that is such an amazing finish on that.
Sometimes you don't know a painting is finished until you pop it in a frame.
Well, I think it gives it that rhythmic bounce that he's got in the painting. It's only shiny in the high points, and everything else is pretty matte. And it's really well done. I really love that frame.
Yeah, it really
With it,
complements the painting.
that's cool.
So this is another painting that is just a favorite of mine. I loved that he took an average working scene and really elevated it through composition, design, and color.
Yeah,
A gray scene of depressing urban, a vacant lot, I guess it is, and working situation has
Yeah.
this iridescent light bounce, and we have haze. In order to finish a painting, you have to pick things that resonate with you early
Yeah.
on to see, why does that keep calling me back? What was interesting about this? Does this still look good to me? What else do I see? All of those questions can help you understand, this is finished, this is a good piece of art, but when I look at it, this feels very complete to me. And
Yeah.
that's a big takeaway of how to finish art, is you have to have that kind of thing click and say, that feels complete.
Well, and I want to call attention to the areas that are not necessarily complete in our head. Like right above that smoke right in there, right there, he could have overdone those windows back in there.
Oh
There's
yeah.
way more windows, but
Yep.
just basically because he's really highlighting this area, he subordinates everything behind it because there's a soft and a hard edge in the middle. The building in the background with the workers, it makes your eyes stay there. So you've got almost tension on the right and tension on the left. That's really interesting. Really well done.
Bold color.
Yeah, that's a
So,
great one.
yeah.
That's a great one. Oh,
This is Andrew Wyeth. I mean, look at the patterning there. He's got all types of variety with each segment that I'm showing for a close up. And I was really surprised that we have crispness even in the background. It's almost like that he's embracing that feeling of the quilted landscape and inviting the viewer to appreciate the tree is one with the landscape. And it just was very arresting when I first saw it. I would feel so tempted to make this have a soft edge, this spider
yeah.
shape here, but he left it in. It's just so great.
Also, the visual weight on the right side in the sky, a little bit of a dirtier right side to the sky adds a variety of that sky a lot.
Yeah.
And it helps that part go away more than the middle. Also, he does it on the top right corner and beyond the buildings back in there. He subordinates and softens those a little bit more.
Yeah.
I mean, so it really does, the edges all connect more toward the middle, the harder edges. That branches, that heavy dark branch in the top left, it really gives you a sense of space again. It sharpens it and brings it right in the foreground.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
And this one,
Daniel Garber.
Daniel Garber. Yes.
Yeah.
The clarity of thought. My trees are dark and the sky is light. And so we know the area of dominance, and it just becomes part of the artistic intent to show those layers in the landscape. And we can still have light leaves and we could still have edges to the trees, but you don't have to have the full spectrum of value. It's just a beautiful symphony of edges and control of value all at the same time. Like, you look at this, it just feels so complete. We're like, the artist's vision.
Yeah.
I went and painted where he painted. There's a lot of beautiful trees and passages along the river. This is not given to you, but
No.
you have to design this. You have to clean up those shapes.
Yeah.
You have to pick and choose what you add in and what you subtract.
Yeah. So well done.
There's also intent in beginning so that you can have a good finish. Like, have you ever chased a bad painting when it's just like throwing paint on over and over? I know I've done that.
Oh my God. I think the chase is actually worth it. You have to learn what you're going to lose. It's like, and you have to really be intentional about your value moves and your color moves. Otherwise, it just goes south on you. And the more I paint, the more I realize how intentional how many thoughts actually go into the decisions to make it work,
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Maybe I need to work longer on a painting. Makes me excited to try that again, because
Only if you're excited. Only if you're excited. Otherwise, don't. Yeah. It's got to be something you see and want. Otherwise, it's not worth it.
Yeah, that point of diminishing returns, I feel like there's kind of a twitchiness of like, oh, you're going down the dark road of overworking.
Yeah. Working over doesn't mean you're always enhancing. Sometimes you're subordinating. And, it's never quite what you think it is. You just have to come at the painting and see what you need as per the idea and your intentions,
Yeah, I think in order to fully explore the idea, I also need paintings that are super fresh, that were dashed off, and to not overwork it. Because if I take something from the field, sometimes if I stick it in a corner later, I'm like, oh, well, maybe that's more done than I thought it was.
There's such beauty in just really simple, quick reads. And I think just all its own.
Yeah.
And I'm not discrediting that. In fact, those color notes are vital.
Yeah.
I just found notes, and I make notes on my just I have no paintings. I'm just colored marks, and it looks like a big abstract. Just because I'm trying to find the information that I think I'm seeing, and I can get pretty excited about that, and I could care less if it works. It's not about that. It's about looking and searching for those things you think are exciting.
I know,
But
but there's other times when the excitement in the field, I take it in and I'm like, oh,
a
oh
lot of
yeah, you thought you
enthusiasm.
were so great there. Whoa, boy.
Yeah, somebody told me one time, have you ever seen an enthusiastic golf swing? And that's a bad thing to see. It's like really, it's crazy. It's not controlled at all, and it's just a bad idea.
I think
No,
you have to have enthusiasm to start a painting. And you know that
sure,
feeling of like drop your
sure.
gear, must capture this.
Yeah,
And just like sweating because you can't find all of the stuff fast enough to
right.
capture
Yeah.
whatever.
Even though you can come out looking really spontaneous, there's a control there still. If you rein in that control just enough with your speed, you can get some really great information, and that's really good stuff.
So I think we're talking about as you either mature or painter or just have mileage on the brush. As we're talking about it, I had a realization because I just described that feeling of drop your gear, make a painting, get my
Yeah,
stuff. Now I might just like be peaceful and sit with the moment, like fully appreciate it. That might be a current move because I know it's only going to last a minute or two. And I might tell myself, I'm noticing this, I'm noticing that. I
but
don't
isn't
know.
that the start? Isn't that your starts? Because your start when you do a lot of those quick little watercolors and stuff, that's you processing this idea. You're not just you're throwing colors together and variety of temperatures you think you're seeing, but you're not trying to resolve everything right away. Your first one, not at all.
No, not.
Yeah, I just thought. Okay. So you
Well,
are
it's a
doing
good
that,
thought.
Yeah, you
Maybe
are doing it.
should we end on that thought?
That sounds
Don't
good.
don't resolve everything, even though we're talking about finishing a painting.
Yeah, well, you got to get to your things you're excited about as well. That's exactly the point, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
to capture the new idea. That's good.
All right.
All right.
Great
But
conversation. Thank you.
yeah, awesome. All right. Until next
All
time.
right. Okay.